Live from San Diego, this is KUSI News.
The future of the controversial 101 Ash Street building is looking a tad bit brighter this morning. Last week, San Diego's Land Use and Housing Committee voted unanimously to recommend the approval of a 60-year ground lease with MRK Partners and Create Dev LLC. In 2017, the city entered a 20-year lease to own deal on the property. Environmental hazards, though, has forced it to sit empty since then. If approved by the city council, the city-owned building would be converted into hundreds of low-income residential units. A final vote on the deal will come by the end of this month. Joining us now to discuss 101 Ash yet again is California real estate broker Mr. Mark Powell. Boy, every time you drive by it, it's like the poster child for government ways, poor decisions, and mismanagement. I mean, it's hard to drive by and think, oh, that's just been draining my wallet and everybody's wallet, every taxpayer's wallet.
It's drained about $300 million.
That's a lot of money.
So it's a ton of money.
Yeah.
So this building was built in 1967. And when they built buildings in the 60s, they used asbestos as a fire retardant. They'll actually spray the metal beams with them. It's good to prevent fires. It's good insulation. It's resistant to chemicals. Not really knowing the full effect that this asbestos, when it becomes airborne, is extremely dangerous. It can cause lung cancer.
So the asbestos issue is legit?
100% legit.
Okay. All right, so, but you know, like when I bought my house, I had a guy go through and he said, oh, by the way, Paul, your sprinkler system doesn't work. Where was that person in this, when this whole deal was transpiring? Where was the person to say, hey, you got an asbestos issue here, don't get involved?
This is the issue. Typically, whenever a realtor sells a house, there was a realtor involved, whether it's a commercial building or a residential property, you're going to have a home inspection or a property inspection. You're going to determine if there's asbestos, if the sewers are good, if the roof is leaking, how's the electrical. I don't know what happened, but apparently when they entered into a lease to put city employees in there and they found out there was asbestos, they had to evacuate the building. And this is when the problem started, about 2017.
All right, so we're kind of rehashing old ground. Now let's get to, it's going to be better now because we're just going to pour even more money into it and we're going to turn it into low-income. It's funny when you call it low-income housing when you consider the cost it's required to make it low-income housing.
It's going to cost about $1 million a unit.
That doesn't sound like low-income housing to me.
It's very expensive.
Yeah.
But the reason why is when you convert an office building into a residential building, there's a lot of things that go into it. So this building had probably 45 bathrooms at one point because of the way it's situated.
But now you need 3 times that.
You're going to need like 300 bathrooms or something like that, 250, 300.
Yeah.
It was wired for electrical, and now you have to put plugs in every room. The heating and air conditioning system, you know, like in any office building, somebody turns on the heat or air conditioner, and like, hey, you're freezing me.
Yeah, right.
You have to split all those up. So there's a lot of work that goes into this. Some people even say, it's better just to tear it down and start from scratch.
Well, it would almost be more affordable, would it not? Or have they penciled that out and it's not more affordable?
I think we're right in the middle. But have in mind, this is a lease. The building was built in 1967. It used to house San Diego Gas and Electricity. So the building's already 58 years old. And after this lease is over, another 60 years, the building's going to be 120 years old. So we're going to get the building back in 60 years. Now you're going to have a building that's 120 years old. It's going to need some work, don't you think?
Yeah, but I guess my feeling is at some point you have to at least see something back. Why not alleviate some of the housing issues and low-income housing issues we have in downtown San Diego? Isn't that at least one ray of light?
I think it's a great idea to put 247 affordable housing units, but we're 100,000 units short in San Diego.
So it's a pin drop.
So it's like
a pin drop.
It's like trying to put out a fire by spitting on it. But it's something. It's actually something.
At the end of the day, who's the villain in this story?
It's just.
Or who are the? Let me rephrase that. Who are the villains in this story?
I don't think there's any one person that caused this to happen, but I think it was a series of events. Unfortunately, they didn't do the inspection. Unfortunately, when they tried to do the remodeling, you know, once asbestos is airborne, that's when it becomes dangerous. A lot of schools have asbestos in it. You know what the remedy is? There's asbestos in the tile. They just put carpet over it. So just don't let it become airborne. So there was a whole chain of events that happened. But now look, at least they've made a partial decision. This is contingent upon about $114 million of federal tax credits, about $82 million of credits for affordable housing, and $32 million of credits for historical, but this is not designated historical yet. So we have to see if it's going to be designated a historical building.
Nefarious or not, when you make these kind of mistakes, there should be repercussions, though.
Now, that's what voting is for.
Yeah, so those are the reasons. So political careers end because of mistakes like this.
Correct.
All right, well, stay tuned. When do you think people are going to, if you had to look into your crystal ball, 2 years from now, will there be people living in that building?
If they actually do get this solidified, it'll be 2026 when it's solidified, and it's going to take about 22 months.
So
it's going to be 2028, 2029.
In the meantime, you got to drive by it and look at it.
You got to look at it. It's a different looking building too.
It bleeds money. I mean, all right. Well, you know, we can laugh about it, but it really ain't that funny. All right. Well, Mark, I appreciate you coming in at such an early hour to discuss such a serious topic.
Thank you for having me.